You're listening to Davo, Tom and Callum, the podcast.
One of my absolute favourite dynamics in the world is humans being bullied by animals. Like this one time when I was in New York City, flex, this woman was walking her golden retriever along the streets of New York, and the golden retriever had an absolute gutful and decided that he was not going to move. So we sat on in the subway across the road watching her try and move this dog for at least 25 minutes, and he didn't budge.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of fun. But last night I was on TikTok scrolling through, and this TikTok popped up and it made me giggle.
I could smell shit and I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. I was just going to go make myself a coffee.
My cat has shat in the f***ing toaster. What the actual...
So it turns out this cat was upset with her because she hadn't fed her on time, and so the cat has taken revenge and done that in
Didn't
her
get its whiskers.
in a $200 toaster.
It would be right up the cat's alley, wouldn't it, to do it in the toaster? And you suspect that the cat full well knows the occupation of a toaster and, you know, what it's there for. They're definitely up to no good.
I mean, I'm not too savvy with prices of toasters, but $200 seems like an expensive toaster. Maybe this cat just thought the toaster was getting more attention.
Yeah, well, that's so true. It was a 4-burner, so you can only imagine. Fancy.
Well, there you go.
And it looked like
say no more.
maybe a smeg sort of situation, so expensive, ritzy.
Yeah.
But have your pets ever bullied you? I mean, you've got 2 cats. They're pretty rough.
I haven't had a toaster situation, thank God.
Yet.
Cross my heart. I hope that the cats don't go for the toaster, the thing I love the most. But no, they do meow a lot for food, and progressively it gets earlier and earlier until it's, 1 p.m. as opposed to a usual 6 p.m. dinner time. They have to feed the cats because they won't shut up.
Right, so they get like a little snack before dinner.
Snacks, it's like their actual dinner. They want the whole food. Yeah, otherwise they'll keep meowing.
A friend of mine, every time she went out, so every time she left the cat alone in the house for a longer period of time, she would always know that when she gets home, there's going to be a shit in the shower.
Really? In the shower? No. In the shower every time.
What about
there's
you?
a word for that.
The cat's waffle stomping. No. Hey, Tom,
Waffle pouring,
you have a very obese dog named Bentley. He's a pug.
Okay, he's big boned. He's not. He's big boned. Okay.
Fresh fam. Just so you know, every time we call Tom's dog Bentley fat, he gets really upset by it. So that's why we keep bringing it up. But Bentley, good on you. Body positivity.
Yeah. Well, look, Bentley is quite the bully. I think he's been showed a life of luxury, and he's gone too far. To the point where the dog has a seat at the dinner table.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He has his own chair. No one can sit there. That's his. And it's right sort of in between my mum and my dad. And he will sit there. He'll sit up on his hind legs and start pawing at one of them. It gets to the point where he starts barking at them until he gets a bit of food. If he doesn't get food after barking, he will start crying. And similar to the leash thing you said when you're in New York City, he used to do that all the time. If he didn't feel like going for a walk, he'd just sit down and you'd try and drag him, but the guy is like a bloody rock.
Well, that's just it. He uses his size.
He's big bone.
He uses his size to his ability.
That was one of the wildest things I've seen an animal do when I was at your place, and he put his paws up on the bench as he was sitting there. I thought he was going to reach for the cutlery. I was like, this is some advanced dog.
But what we want to do this morning is open up the phone lines. When did your pet bully you, Adelaide?
We got a text in here saying that my partner and I were dog sitting and decided to take him for a walk, accompanying her to work. We got to the office and the dog absolutely refused to leave the office without her. So I had to carry this 30-kilo dog for a solid 100 metres away from the place before he would walk by himself.
Wow.
Oh, no. Hey, let's cross over to Happy Valley. We got Sam on the line. Sam, good morning. Did your pet bully you?
Morning, guys. I'm bullied by all my pets and children, but my little puppy has a doggy door, goes in and out the doggy door all day. She bullied us out of crate training, now sleeps in the bed. And at night, if she gets up to go to the toilet, she'll go out of her doggy door, but then won't come back in it, and she just sits there and bangs it, which wakes the kids up, so therefore I have to get up. But we cottoned on to what was going on, so she bangs on the doggy door. You get up to let her in the doggy door. She won't come in that way. She makes you open the door for her.
Wow.
And then while you're then locking up, she then bolts to the bed to get there first to take my pillow.
Oh,
so
no.
I'm then bullied into lying without a pillow because she spreads her whole body out and takes up the whole pillow while I'm locking up the door.
Sam, it sounds like this puppy you're raising is a bit of a prima donna.
Diva. Ultimately. She does a lot of things, but that was the one that takes the cake.
Stealing a pillow is a bit too far.
Yeah, you don't
Also-
steal the pillow.
Sam's little voice, teeny tiny woman, no doubt, so she's getting pushed around.
Hey, let's go to Deborah in Port Noarlunga South. Deb, when did the pet bully you?
Bullied or beaten me up. I don't know what you want to say.
Oh, no.
Jeez.
My bull Arab ran into me at the dog park and completely busted my arm and wrist.
Oh, no.
And then while I was on all fours in pain, she decided to hump me.
Jeez, that's the
Disrespect.
ultimate humiliation, isn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And then I couldn't work for 18 months, and she's lucky she's still alive.
Was there anyone at the dog park when the humping happened and all that?
My husband and my kids, and my husband laughed, thinking that she was just having a way with me. He didn't realise that I was actually in pain until the neighbour across the road ran over with the ambulance, and I was taken to hospital had to have surgery.
Oh, my
husband thought,
goodness.
my husband thought my dog was just rooting me like she normally does.
Absolutely dominated.
Deborah, jeez. Hey, let's wrap things up with Tracy in Mansfield Park. Trace, when did your pet bully you?
When I first started dating my partner, he used to spend many late nights at mine, and his dog is a staffy, and he's very anxious, and he loves his dad.
Yeah.
He came home at 4 a.m. The dog had pooed in the house,
Oh, no.
and the Roomba had vacuumed over it, and there was dry dog poo all up the hallway, all in the kitchen, in the living room, and the bathroom, and he spent all morning before he had to go to work cleaning up dried dog shit.
Who do you blame?
But it hasn't stopped. When my partner leaves for work, if he doesn't put him outside, he poos inside.
Wow.
And the Roomba will come and clean it up. Well, I shouldn't say clean it up.
No more Roomba.
Oh, I was going to say,
The Roomba had to get thrown out because it was.
I like how the Roomba's been punished more than the dog almost.
Yeah. It's the Roomba or the dog.
Davo, Tom and Callum podcast. Davo, Tom and Callum podcast.
I'll have what she's having.
Davo, Tom and Callum, the podcast.
I'm bloody ticked off.
Lyman Mongrel.
Oh, jeez, it's ticked off, Tom.
Oh, God.
Today's topic is bloody doors, and I'm sick of them. Get rid of all doors.
Did someone send in some fan mail for the door segment? Or
No,
is
mate.
this a
Unfortunately,
personal one?
this happened to me just the other day, and I am riled up about it. I kept it to myself for as long as I could. If anything, it's embarrassing, but I need the people to hear so we can change this, and it won't happen to anyone ever again. I hope I'm the last, but I'm talking about the way you push and pull doors, right?
Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, it's all well and good when a push door or pull door is there and it's labelled push or pull. Mm-hmm. But when you go up to one and it's not got a label and you have to make a judgment call in your gut, half a second to think about it. You can't stand there and look at it and try and figure it out. You just need to make a judgment call. Well, I did this the other day on my way to a cafe. I'm trying to walk in and I'm like, oh, bloody hell, I'll go for the push.
Oh, no.
Confused old man looking at the door. What do I do? Push or pull? I know, I'll talk about it on my ticked off Tom bit.
Yeah, that's exactly right. What I've done is I've pushed this door. Nothing. It's not opened. It's done the little jiggle. Mm-hmm. I'm like, for goodness sakes. And of course, when you do it, everyone does that simultaneous look at the door, and you're like, look at me, I'm an idiot.
Wait, sorry, where is this again?
It's at just a cafe. I'm not going to name it.
But there's a lot of people watching you at the moment. You got a few spectators looking at you fumble the door.
I'd say there was at least a dozen people in this cafe at the time watching me fumble this door. So I'm like, bloody hell. All right, we'll do the pull. We'll make it quick, seamless. Mm-hmm. Go the pull. Shimmies again.
So it's not a push or a pull, it's locked.
Well, here's
They've locked you out. They're like, oh, God, there's that ticked off Tom guy. Let's lock him out and bar him. Make sure he can't get a coffee.
That's probably the normal way of thinking, isn't it, Davo? That, yeah, this door's just locked or something, or I'm using the wrong door. No, what I thought is, it's one of those trick heavy doors that make people look weak. So I'm going to double down here.
No.
And I've grabbed it and I'm just jamming this thing back and forth. Nothing's happening until eventually now everyone's looking at me like worried. Like I'm going to do something when I get into this cafe.
You're in a fluster. I can
Yeah.
only see. I can see your face now.
He's left his balaclava at home, but I know what his intentions are.
So get this. One of the staff members walks up to the door, slides it open.
No.
Oh, Tom.
It's a
Embarrassing.
bloody slide door.
That's
but it has
embarrassing.
handles like it's a push or pull. Why wouldn't you label it?
Jeez.
What?
Did you stay and order a coffee, or did you
should've just
get
left.
out there?
Yeah, I
just
should have left, but it was
walk on home.
it was too late at that point. They'd opened the door for me and they said, "It's a slide, mate."
So your vendettas against labels. You want them all to be labelled.
Either label them, push, pull, slide, whatever, or get rid of them.
No door.
Leave the door wide open.
No door society.
It's an open cafe, isn't it? Why do we need to have the door
Oh,
shut?
Tom. I think you need to take 3 deep breaths and have a good look at yourself because you shouldn't be getting this upset over it.
No. I'm through being embarrassed, and then I started. I got my coffee. I got a takeaway, of course. I couldn't sit there another minute. I was stewing in my own juices, and as I'm walking back to the station with my coffee, I started just thinking about how much doors annoy me.
Oh,
right?
my God, okay.
Right, so when you try and go in somewhere with an automatic door and it doesn't register you and you're standing there and it's like that scene in Toy Story where they all have to jump at the same time to get it open.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. What, am I not big enough to open an automatic door?
The door is emasculating you.
Yeah, exactly
You're
right.
not at the proper body size to be able to open a sensor.
Then I started thinking, hey, it's not just shop doors, is it? It's bloody car doors. What about when you order a ride share and it's got one of those automatic slide doors and you go to shut it and the driver's always like, mate, it's automatic, leave it alone. How am I meant to know it's automatic?
Have you ever got a ride share and a Tesla's pulled up, and have you seen those handles? They're like buttons. They're not even actual handles. They're not handles. They're just inbuilt in the car. Crazy.
We are putting a stop to doors
Oh my
right
God.
here on this show. I'm ticked off.
You're listening to Davo, Tom and Callum, the podcast.
Guys, it was my mate James's birthday just the other day, and we went out for dinner together, and we decided to go to the Cremorne, which is now an award-winning pub, recently voted the best hotel in the country.
That's so amazing, isn't it, for a SA pub to don that award?
Yeah,
Huge.
absolutely.
And there are so many pubs in the country. Imagine getting that gong. How
There's
good.
so many just here in Adelaide. Yeah, to take out in the country is an amazing accomplishment. So congratulations to the Cremorne. But as we got there, I wasn't like overly hungry, right? I was like, I could eat, but I don't really want a full pub meal.
Yeah.
So I did the classic thing where you scan the menu for like 20 minutes, trying to be like, salt and pepper squid, maybe.
It is always tossing between the palmy or the salt and pepper squid, usually.
Yeah.
If you were to toss between the two things for 20 minutes, 10 minutes divided each.
Yeah.
I feel heartbroken or like I've missed out if I don't get a schnitzel at a pub.
Right?
It's
Yeah.
so hard to say no.
Oh, sometimes you want to be extravagant as well, and I'll get, the Caesar salad or, something with like, something a bit different. And then you see
Extravagant.
someone else has ordered a Parmigiana, and you feel Devo, don't
Yeah,
you?
absolutely.
It's really devastating.
So eventually after scanning the menu for so long, I decided, you know what? I am going to get the schnitzel. Mm-hmm. But I don't want a full schnitzel. And I've noticed just off to the side, they have another smaller menu, the kids menu, which had a half schnitzel and chips on offer. So I'm like, you know what? I'll take a stab. Because usually places won't let you order off the kids menu. Usually it says 12 and under only, and they're like, if you try and order it, they'll say, sorry, no, it's for kids only.
Yeah. Anyway, continue on.
Yeah. So, I go up, I'm like, I'll take a stab, and to be honest, the Cremorne's pretty upmarket, so I didn't have high hopes.
Well, best pub in Australia, you'd think they're going to be quite protective of the kids' menu.
Yeah, but when I ordered, they said, absolutely, you can order the half schnitzel and chips.
Definitely take you by surprise. I feel like most pubs don't do that. Most of them are very strict on the kids' menu rule.
Yeah, I mean, I was pleasantly surprised, and did I enjoy that half schnitty?
Did they think that you were a baby?
They ridicule. Great pub, but they ridiculed me for saying I was in a diaper before I ordered.
Yeah, I might have thrown a couple jokes, or I guess you could consider them lies when I said, "Oh, little Timmy's in the toilet."
Although, what an absolute win for you, because obviously you weren't that hungry. You've saved money. You've got the meal that you wanted, but that's not always the case, is it?
No, I have been denied at other pubs before. Them telling me, no, this is only for kids. It says on the menu right there, 12 and under. And I'll say, I'm sorry, I'm just not that hungry. Is there anything you can do? And they say, nah, can't do it.
I think it's such an odd thing for those pubs that have that rule, though, as well, because they know full well that if you're claiming you're not that hungry, you're probably going to not eat the food, and therefore it'll be a waste. And that food can go to another sale, another kid's item, or something like that.
Well, I feel like the excuse, which they'll never say, they always just say, look at the menu, it says 12 and under. But I feel like they just always will look at you and think, no. You're not. This is a loophole. You're not going to. This is too cheap for an adult.
Yeah.
You know? But that's the problem. It's not a loophole. I'm paying child's prices and I'm getting a child's portion.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
Yeah. So, it's not a loophole, and it's just perfect if you're not that hungry. But what I want to do is throw this to the Fresh fam. Should you be allowed to order from the kids menu? Plenty of people getting involved in the text line.
Yeah, we got this one here. Love this. Someone said, my son Jack, who is 7, says, yes, you should be able to order off the children's menu. The reason being is that you were once a kid also.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jack. Good on you. Thanks for getting
Jack's
involved.
got some good wisdom there.
Some would also say that you still are. Someone else has texted in saying, hell yes, you can order off the kids menu.
Straight up.
Absolutely. This text has come in and said, grow up, mate. It's called a doggy bag if you can't finish your food.
I mean, doggy bag also just raises a whole nother argument of whether you want to be the one to get a doggy bag and stuff. Too,
absolutely.
If you're into that.
I love this text we got here. Someone said, adults that order off the kids menu are people that need to sort their life out. I get your baby. Well, you're not wrong.
There is something as well about the image of a grown person eating, 6 chicken nuggets by themselves.
I'm not disputing the fact I need to sort my life out. However, I still want to order off the kids menu.
Like the Tupperware, I like the doggy bag. It's not the argument right now. It's the kids menu. Let's focus on that.
Somebody else has texted in here saying 100% with Tom. Sometimes you aren't that hungry, and sometimes the kid menu exclusive items like a spaghetti meatballs hits harder than anything on the menu. If you know, you know. Absolutely.
That is so true. Sometimes the kids menu does have some great things on there that just doesn't get into the adult section.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you're just hankering for some nuggies.
I get your baby. You're gonna need a bigger podcast.
Davo, Tom and Callum, the podcast.
Rat chats. Oh, yes, it's my favourite. What high quality production right there. That was my doing. I'm so sorry, Fresh Man.
At one stage of this breakfast show, I think we did think that was of high quality. that intro.
Is it bad if I still do?
Yeah.
Hey, well, yes, it's my favourite segment here. It's Rat Chat, and we've got a special guest on the mic. It's our producer, Fam. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Now, we've had you on the mic before talking about this favour your friend asked you to do. Mm-hmm. She was going overseas and she asked you to look after her rats. Now, the rats, they're unwell. They take 24-hour care. They are hectic, and you were happy to see the back of them as they left.
Yeah, definitely. Very high maintenance little animals.
Do rats smell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
I could
stinky.
bet.
I was gonna say, rats to begin with, healthy rats are an unideal thing to look after on someone's behalf. But the fact that they're sick as well, and you have to give them medicine, is just another level up.
Yeah.
Well, that's just it. 24-hour care. But Fem has come in today, and she said, Davo, the rats are back.
They're back.
They're back.
They're back in town.
They certainly are. Now, you were telling me about how your friend said, look, I'm going overseas until Christmas, so can you look after them for a mere month?
Yeah.
That's a big ask, I think, from anyone.
A month is a long time to look after rats that are stinky, 1, and 2, rats.
Yep. Tom, it gets worse. Because what this chicky babe has said to Fem, producer Fem here, she said, hey, I'm going away for Christmas, but look, my parents are getting a little bit older. I don't really know when I'm going to come back.
Wow,
Oh,
so
no.
it's an indefinite time that she's overseas that you don't know exactly how long you'll have the rats for.
Yeah, like she started off with saying like she's very clear. She's like, yeah, gonna be back around Christmas, and I was like, it's not great having to look after them for a month, but I'm like, it's manageable. But then now all of a sudden she's like, yeah, I might just not come back. See ya.
So you're gonna have Christmas, Thanksgiving, and
Yeah, New
Easter
Year's
with
Easter.
the rats.
Yeah.
How upset would she be if you orphaned off these rats to another home?
Honestly, I don't think she'd care.
They're
which
on
is
their
bad.
last legs.
Yeah, right.
You're
well,
pretty
there's
much
an
running
idea.
a hospice for,
Yeah.
for the rats right now. So yeah, I don't think she'd notice.
But of course, asking your friend a huge favour like this, looking after her dear pet rats that are sickly, they're getting fed with medicine twice a day. You'd think, you know what, I'm going to give, a present to say thank you. Maybe some money, maybe, a big gift, you'd think, right?
Rat food.
Fem, what did your friend give you for this big ask?
Yeah, so just for a little thank you present, I got a little packet of, specifically diabetic glucose jelly beans and a tiny mini panettone little Christmas cake.
It's not enough.
Oh, no.
You're listening to Davo, Tom and Callum, the podcast.
What do you think would be one of the worst injuries you could ever get?
Oh, I mean...
Your head does
yeah.
go towards
the nether regions.
the privates for sure. Well, that's happened to a Swedish skier over in Finland. He's suffered from a frozen penis.
Oh, Jesus.
Come right out and say
Yeah,
it.
well,
Caught me off guard.
it's an unfortunate medical situation that needs to be addressed. And pretty much as he was skiing, it was there's no reason at all, not even falling into the snow, but just simply skiing around during the race, suffered frostbite down there.
That's what they all say.
Yeah, I was expecting the fact. I'm sure he was belly down on that snow.
It just happened out of nowhere. But he was skiing and he was in the race and pretty much he started feeling it and he's described it as an unbearable pain, one of the worst pains you can ever get, and he doesn't envy it on anyone.
Just double up, right?
Sure,
Could you
yeah.
wear like another pair of jocks
Few
or
more
something?
pairs
or
of
like
underwear.
Insulated
Yeah,
underwear?
hit up those step ones. Do 5 pairs.
Didn't this happen to Prince Harry as well? He had a frozen todger.
Yeah, he
did.
did it, hey.
It's in his memoir, yeah. He went to a expedition in Antarctica and he copped it.
So what's the deal with this skier? So what, he was like mid-race or...
He was mid-race and unfortunately he came 28th place.
Yeah, right.
I'm not sure what it was out of, but 28th obviously doesn't sound great.
Doesn't
No.
sound good.
You're not putting that on your LinkedIn.
Yeah, he was very distracted.
You're
at
also
the
not
time.
on your frozen penis on LinkedIn, are you?
True.
You're keeping both hush, aren't you? But yeah, he came 28th, and as soon as he came off the race, because you wonder, how do you fix such a thing? He said he went to what was called a warm-up tent,
Right.
as if it's like a common
Yeah,
thing that
okay.
happens there, that they need to go to a warm-up tent.
That
And he had
sounds a bit odd.
He had a heat pad, and he just laid there with a heat pad for about 10 minutes.
I thought you were going to say vigorously rubbed it.
Yeah.
Any excuse to do so.